Well, hello, Apple Biters and Apple TDs. This is Les, aka Sister Slayer, here with the Bitten Apple's Apple Bites. We're so happy to have you here today. And I'm with my partner, the Written Writ Ralph.
Hello, everybody. It's Written Writ Ralph here at the set of the Written Writ, doing Apple Bites.
Wow, look, you spent a lot of money on that set in the background.
I have to admit, there has been a lot of money spent, and a lot of this is research for writing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's the main reason why I actually decided to do this show was because I was reading all these books, and they show you how to write, but they don't give you the final information on how to do the writing. And I was like, hey, let's make a show where I and you and I take a journey together to become better writers.
and that is your catchphrase, right?
Exactly.
Because I know that's what you usually say. I and you and I take a journey together to write, to learn how to write together.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? I don't say it. I'm not saying it right.
To become better writers.
To become better writers. Yes. That's it. To become better writers. Say it now all together for me, because I so that I know exactly.
Hey, well, here's the whole thing. Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite Rafael Tavares talking to you straight from our show here, The Written Writ, a show where you and I and you take a journey together to become better writers.
Oh, I love it. It should be on TV.
Well, at least I'm on YouTube.
Yeah, right. YouTube is a platform, hey, every bit counts nowadays.
Exactly.
But anyway, I wanted to give a shout out to everybody at the Urban Action Showcase, because that's where we would be today.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, because of this time of COVID, they're having a virtual event today. So we've actually signed up as a Bitten Apple TV to go in and do some press for the Urban Action Showcase. But if you don't know anything about this showcase, this is put on by Demetrius Angelo every year. The Urban Action Showcase is, I would say that it's an expo and a showcase where you, the fan of anybody that does any type of, that likes action films that star people of color, or not, it is a genre-based type of things where action is the middle name.
Right.
Is that going to say it? Action is the middle name. And so it's a really great, we enjoy going there. It took us a long time to finally get to the Urban Action Showcase, but finally, we got there. And they have guests. I mean, look at this. This is Demetrius Angelo. That's Michael Jai White right there, if you're looking at it on the right. And of course, Timok from The Last Dragon. And I'm going to tell you, everybody looks good. No. I know, right? I mean, this is like such an exciting expo. And I don't think too many people know about this, but it's like a hidden gem of people that you might. My stepdad, when he was alive, when I told him the people that I was meeting there, like Ron Samuels and all these, Don the Dragon Wilson, he could not believe it. I mean, if you like that genre, Cynthia Rothrock. Oh my goodness. Almost died and went to heaven meeting China O'Brien. I mean, she's one of the reasons why I wanted to do martial arts outside of Bruce Lee himself. But this is a great event to go to. And if you are available today, and they're going to have this for a whole week, this virtual event. Usually this is only a weekend or a week? How long is it usually when it's a live event?
Weekend, but this week, I guess because they're virtual, they can actually go for the whole week.
Yeah, they're going for the whole week.
Today, and I think it ends next Saturday. And they have like events scheduled for, that you can check out.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Some really, and there's our friend Show Clark there.
All right.
We had him on last week. Yeah, we had him on last week.
He's going to be DJing the whole thing for the whole week.
Yeah, he is going to be DJing. So, I mean, it's really good. I'm telling you, we took like an action class where we learned how to kind of like stunt ball. Yeah. Mm-hmm. One time I was there. Cynthia Rothrock told us about working on the set of China O'Brien, what it was like fighting like Sammo Hung and all these like famous martial artists. I mean, this is just like the bomb. That's all I'm going to say. So if you're available today, I would really highly recommend that you go and see this showcase today. I'm going to show a little bit of what goes on there. Can you all see that screen?
And we can see the little slideshow you're showing.
You can see the slideshow? Okay, hold on one second.
There we go. You moved it.
Okay, that one. All right. Let me see if I could actually share the web page itself. Hold on one second.
It's so funny to think that we would actually be there right now, and here we are doing our live show. I guess we're kind of showcasing them anyway.
Yeah, we are. But I mean, these are kind of things that go on there. We're going to have to cover that. There's no sound on this. This is just overall rating one of the best reviewed expos out there. 5-star rating. And you get to see new films, new action films that people are producing and creating. Talk with the actors. You get to, talk to stunt people. I mean, it's an exceptional event. That's all I'm going to say. It's an exceptional event.
It is. It's an amazing event.
It is. So if you are available today and all this week, go in and sign in for some of the panels that they're going to have. They have Javicia Leslie is going to be at one of the panels today. You all know she's the new Batgirl or Batwoman.
I saw that. Did you know that Cyborg is supposed to be in that same the actor who plays Cyborg from the Teen Titans show is supposed to be in that same panel?
Wow. I mean, it's incredible. This is an opportunity where you don't ever get to actually be running neck and neck, elbow to elbow with some of these celebrities. I mean, I can't, speak its praises enough. It is an excellent expo. So if you are available today and all this week, go and check out some of the events. They also have a raffle going on, so you can win some things. You might win some paraphernalia from a movie set or something.
True.
But it's an awesome event.
It is. It's just amazing. We always have fun. We've been covering now 3 years. This will be our 3rd year.
Yeah, it'll be our 3rd year doing it. So, I mean, I'm excited because, it took us a long time to get into that event. So we finally get it. Yeah, we finally did get in there. We made the grade. We made the cut. Thank you, Demetrius. All right, let's go on with our show. So we want to present our first guest today. I'm going to read a little bit about him. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, we actually met them at Big Apple Con a couple of years ago, and a friendship formed. And we've been trying to get out to Rhode Island for their Rhode Island Book Convention for a while now. We almost made it last year, but plans fell through. This year, it looks like we might be part of their virtual Rhode Island Con, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh yeah, now that's going to be interesting. And we were a little kind of talking about that, but we're going to bring him in. We're going to talk about it a little bit. Let me just read a little bit about him. So he has been writing this series, and it's called the Overlord's Fantasy book series for over 20 years. Currently, he lives in Tiverton, Rhode Island with his wife, Leah, and their children, Devin and Samantha. He speaks at elementary, middle, and high school colleges, local libraries, and writers groups, where his sincere hope is to inspire everyone he meets to be creative and follow their dreams. He's also the vice president of the Association of the Rhode Island Authors. When not working on the Overlord series, Mike is very active in fitness and sports. He continues to play baseball, where he is a knuckleball pitcher for the Rhode Island Brewers that won the 2008 through 2014 national championships in Phoenix, Arizona. He also runs 4 to 5 miles on a regular basis, does interval weight and cardio training. Shoot, I need to talk to Mike about getting in shape. I'm telling you. He takes vinyasa yoga classes twice a week. And did we mention that he's an engineer working on homeland defense projects too?
Thank God this guy's busy. When does he get to write?
Probably. No, when is he? The question is, when does he get to sleep? So the first 3 books in the Overlord's Fantasy.
Dad, come on.
Yes. So the first 3 books of the Overlord's Fantasy book series, Legend of Treasure, The Talisman of Unification, and Journey to Salvation, can be purchased from the website listed that we'll probably put all of that information there. So, but it's or other online and local retailers that will probably, be able to write his own. But I cannot wait to introduce this guy now. I'm learning so much more about Mike. And Mike, I'm hoping that I can stay on your books instead of talking about fitness, but we'll talk about it. We'll try to get all of that into this interview. Ladies and gentlemen, let us please introduce to you Mr. Mike Squatrito. Hello.
Hey, Mike.
But how do I follow that up?
I don't know. How do you follow that up?
Seriously?
You are so busy.
Hey, well,
goodness.
I do what I have to do, And you only made one mistake. I am now the president of the association. I got voted in.
Off camera that he now became the president.
In a matter of minutes, he was voted president. Okay, hey. That is amazing.
I forgot to update my website, so thank you for letting me know that.
Well, we don't always read our work. That's the thing. Yeah. So now somebody else is reading it for you, which is what you want. But thank you so much for being with us. We're so excited to have you.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's been a couple of years since I think I've seen you guys in person, but it's been great to be able to virtually keep in touch. So this should be a lot of fun.
Yes, this is. And this is like one of our first, we're learning this platform right now. So you're talking about going on a bumpy ride. You might be on a bumpy ride with this platform today.
I'm always on a
I'm trying to get at it.
I think you are probably our 5th show, and I think I might be off by 1.
Hey, that's no problem.
And we usually have when some freaky thing happen or whatever. I'm trying to get it, down packed, but I mean, we're doing everything.
I gotta give you applause, Leslie. You're actually doing pretty good today.
You're doing great so far, as far as I'm
thank you. I'm getting there slowly but surely. So what's been up with you?
Well, I got voted to be president of the association, so that's been a big hurdle because it took us months to get to the actual election because we couldn't gather. And in our bylaws, it didn't state that we needed a quorum. So we decided to actually do a Zoom meeting and then had the voting there. And that way we were able to get everybody in. So that's what I've been doing and trying to get everything going there. And then it's just been, trying to do some writing, trying to do some other things. Believe it or not, tomorrow we're still playing baseball in Rhode Island, and it's a championship game. We've won the state title 5 years in a row, and if we win, it'll be 6 in a row.
Oh my gosh!
So I've been busy there. We played last night, which was, thank God it was warm. The weather turned because we had to sit out like 10 days because every day we had it planned. We had a monsoon, then it snowed. So it's been crazy. So we actually have a beautiful day for tomorrow to play baseball in November. So we've been doing that. And then, what else? What else have I not been doing? It's just been a lot of crazy stuff.
But let's talk about your series. Let's talk about the series. I'm going to talk about that. And then I want to talk about all this fitness stuff you're doing as well. But that's like, I'm impressed. But let's talk about the series. So the first part, the Overlords book that you did, this is
it's this one.
All your social media. Yeah, this one right here is the Mission of the King. So kind of tell us how you came about with this. I was not there when they interviewed you. So for the audience who does not know you and who's not been introduced, now being introduced to you, tell us what the series is about.
Okay, basically it's an epic fantasy series. So it's like a Lord of the Rings series with the characters written down to a Harry Potter level. I mean, the story written down to Harry Potter level. So even like 5th graders on up can read it. And the characters are influenced by the original Star Wars cast. So it has an obvious Lord of the Rings kind of flair to it, like a Game of Thrones, things like that. But it has the interactions and the camaraderie of like the Star Wars characters. So it's a lot of fun. It originally was supposed to be like a young adult book, but then my coworkers and friends were asking, can my kids read it? And I'm like, well, can they read Harry Potter? And they're like, oh, they love Harry Potter. I said, well, give it a try. And the kids love it. So like you said before, I go to elementary schools, especially like the 5th graders. The 5th graders are amazing. I'll come in with the crazy uncle on a Friday, and I said, okay, we're gonna make monsters, and then we're gonna do this and that, and I will teach them how to make characters, how to make worlds, how to make the magic, how to make weapons and armor, and all that kind of stuff. And then each table that they're at, they'll start drawing these things up, and they have to all work together. The teachers love it. I love it. And then at the end, the kids come on up and they show the class what they did. So it fosters teamwork and creativity and speaking and stuff like that. So it's all that kind of stuff. And that all came out of these books. I mean, this is the first book in the series, and this is the second book, and this is the third book. And the one that
didn't the third book just release like a little bit before the pandemic started?
The fourth book, the one that you had up
there we go,
is number 4, and that one wraps up the series. And that one came out in September of 2019, and I was rolling on the book tour. We had a great showing in the state, and then I went up to Boscone up in Boston, which is the sci-fi fantasy convention, and that was in February. And then I was on like 4 or 5 panels, and I was at the author night and things like that. And then the pandemic hit, and then I kind of put the tour on hold. But the good thing is it's not like the book isn't old yet, right? It's about a year old, but I'm going to continue it next year, and hopefully we'll be able to gather and things like that. But the nice thing is, the series is now complete. It is not like George R.R. Martin, and he's still writing Game of Thrones, and that HBO series is over and things like that. And Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, he died before he finished. So I'm healthy. I finished the series. It's a lot of fun.
Well, that's really important because we want to finish series as book trolls. We want to know what happens, and we want our writer to figure out where he's going instead of trying to have somebody else figure out for the writer. Now, it's so funny that you're mentioning how you're doing this with the kids, and you're having them create their stuff, and you're teaching them how to do it, and it sounds so much like D&D. And I know when we talked, we had a conversation about how a lot of this is inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, and it does have a very Dungeons and Dragons feel to it. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, sure. I think a long time ago, when I was in college, we played D&D, and I got into it. And being a creative person that I am, I came up with these elaborate campaigns with maps and treasures and creatures and adversaries, and put it all together. Unfortunately, we all graduated, and we never really got to play this campaign. So I was like, this is too good to put away. So I hadn't, believe it or not, I never took a creative writing class, and I just started writing. And over the years, obviously my writing got better because it was horrible. I'm, like I said before, I'm an engineer, and it was just like, I needed to get some creativity in there. And but it definitely has a D&D flair because it was a campaign, and I took a lot of the rules that were in the game and then just expanded on it, because the beauty of the game is there really isn't any rules, but there are guidelines, and then you can take it to wherever you want it to go. And the good thing is with my storyline, it just kept flowing. And it's really weird because my analytical side, being an engineer, I outline everything. So I have this big bullet list of, okay, you go from here to here to here, and then I write all those. So I have all my bullets. But the other side of me is like, well, it's to get from bullet A to bullet B. That's where the creativity comes from. So you just start writing. So like, let's say our characters are in the town, and they're getting ready to leave to find the treasure. So there's bullet A, they're in the town, they have a celebration, they let them go. Bullet B is they meet up with so-and-so, and he's in the woods somewhere along the way. Well, now I get to write about them leaving and then getting to this guy, and things happen along the way. In the
D&D too,
exactly.
Those bullets are usually where you're like, okay, guys, so you guys are in town and you're about to leave, and then you're walking through the woods and you hear a noise,
Yeah, yeah. And then all of a sudden, all these wolves come out, and then one of the wolves is not a wolf; it's a werewolf, and so it goes from there. So, but that's what I do, and I try to explain that when I'm on panels and when I'm doing my teaching, because there's a lot of people, and God bless them, that can just sit down and write and just go from top to head.
But what's your method? What is your method of writing? I mean, what is it that it takes you to? Do you just come up with the characters, or it just comes to you? Because I sometimes think that things come from, a spiritual. Yeah, they really do.
Sometimes, but it's funny you say that, because there are times I'll tell my wife after like an hour or two of writing, I'm like going, I don't know where this came from. It's like it flowed through me. And I have an idea of where I want to go. And I'm usually my brain is about 3 to 4 sentences ahead of my fingers. Right. So I'm typing away. And it's going. And it is nothing like what I thought I was going to start on. And I'm like, okay, well, I still got to get to here. And it still works. So it's just kind of, I think you get an idea in your head. And the way I do it, like I said, I plot it all out. So I know what my roadmap is going to be. Mm-hmm. So as long as I kind of stay on the roadmap, I'm going to get there. And the biggest thing, if there's writers out there, trust me with this one. If either way you do it, if you plot it or if you right off the top of your head, just write it all the way through. Exactly. It doesn't matter. The first pass, no one is going to get this book in the first pass, because it needs to be edited, it needs to be looked at, you need to do a lot of work after that. So once you write from beginning to end, now the way I look at it, I use Microsoft Word. So now I have something tangible. It's not in my head. Mm-hmm. So I can go, and I usually do chapter by chapter. So my books are pretty big, so I'll have like 30 to 40 chapters, and I'll have a file for each chapter. And then I'm a little old school. I need to print it out, and I need to write on it and move things and go like, this is crap, or this is good. So I can do that. And then people call me crazy, but I love the editing process, because
you're crazy.
Really?
Because now I have something I'm working with. It's like a piece of clay. And if I'm a sculptor, well, it's just a hunk of clay. But when you start messing with it, then, by the end, if you're decent, you have something nice,
I completely understand what you're saying, because in the editing is the fine crafting of the art. It's the chiseling away at the statue. It's the little bits and pieces you're adding to the painting, because sometimes you write it a certain way, and it doesn't need to be that way. It needs to be either more lyrical, it needs to be different. It needs to come out a different way. And the first time you write it down, it comes out, one way, but sometimes there might be a flow to your words that needs to happen in order for the story to be where it needs to be. And, of course, that editing process is where you get that done. I'm also amazed. I was wondering where I got this from. And, on the show, on the Written Writ, I talk a lot about my inspirations about writing and where it all comes from. And one of the big inspirations is role playing, because I did a lot of D&D, I did a lot of Vampire the Masquerade. And I kept wondering why my way of going with things is bullet points. Because I do the same thing as you. I got this bullet point, and I got this bullet point. Now I need to figure out how to go from here to here. And then I was sitting there going, oh my God, it is D&D.
It is. It's okay. It's okay, Raphael. It's all right.
Can I just say that I have never played D&D, and that's saying a lot for me. That's saying a lot for me, because I'm huge. I'm a fan of all of that fantasy, horror, monsters, and stuff. I have never played it. I would love to play it. I mean, for it to be this still popular even to this day.
Yeah,
it has to be. There has to be something about it,
I think it really lets your mind expand in things like that. And it's funny. Again, I go back to, I'm a math guy and everything. So if you're rolling dice, I'm like going, he's got a 1 out of 6 chance of hitting me. I'm going after him. So, and then he rolled the 6. Yep, there you go. But it's a lot of fun. It's harmless. I think back in the old days, there was like a stigma to it. Everybody's down.
Oh, yes.
Here I am. I'm down in my basement. I'm saying kids are down in their basement. I'm down in my basement and stuff.
Yeah. Remember the movie? The movie with Tom Hanks in it,
Oh
where
my
there
God,
was like some
yeah.
kind of demonic thing
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
Dungeons and
Bad.
Dragons? Yes.
Yeah. So
Oh no.
I think I like the show The Big Bang Theory, and I think those guys kind of took us to mainstream. So
Oh, I
thank
agree.
you
Yeah.
to those
Yeah.
guys.
But it's
But,
so funny because you know, when you're role playing, if you're an actor, it's amazing because you get to act out characters, and you'll be different characters over the run of your role playing life. If you're a writer, you get to create these universes and these people that are playing in. Or if you're playing as a writer, you get to write your character and go in a direction where you want your character to go. And it's a little more challenging because then you got to deal with everybody around you and them changing things up, and you having to work that into your story. It's just an amazing creative process to role play.
It is. It is. It takes in a lot of different, like I said, a lot of different things that you may. And the more you play, the more you expand. It's really kind of cool. You know?
So I'm curious. I mean, how do you fit your fitness into all of this writing? How do you do that? And is it? Are you trying to say that if you are physically active, you would have more time and energy?
That is yes. That is 100% yes. And the one thing you need to be is a master of time management. And I'll give you my day. I get up at 5:15. Now I don't live too far from work. I live about 15 minutes from work. So I go get to work at 6 o'clock. I work until about 3:30. And then from 3:30, I go right to the gym. I go to my workout. So it's extension of my day. And I'll get home around 5:30, 5:45. Okay. So there's my day. Now, during breakfast, I write a little bit at work. At lunchtime, instead of doing whatever, a lot of people I do like another 15, 20 minutes here and there. I'll edit, I'll do whatever. So I do stuff there. And then maybe some at home. And then on weekends, I can get more time there too. So the big thing is if you can time slice and you can do everything, because you can't do, no matter what they say, you can't do more than one thing at a time. Even though people think they can do multiple things and stuff like that, you really can't. So if I'm going to play in a baseball game and I know from 3 to 6 I'm playing in a baseball game, I'm playing in a baseball game. Don't bother me. I'm playing. Or and I schedule everything. Like this interview, I told my wife and the granddaughter and do not be home between 1 and 2. So I'm here. And I can keep hearing the phone. I don't know if you guys heard the phone in the background. It's driving me crazy. I forgot that one's over there. But you have to be in that. So when I say I lift weights or I'll do yoga or I'll run, that's one of the workouts. So Mondays, Wednesdays, I'll do my weights workout at the gym. Tuesday night is my yoga workout. Before I do yoga, I'll go for a run in the day, and then Thursday I'll do a run or whatever, and then the baseball game. So it looks like a lot of stuff, but it's one thing at a time, and then go from there. It's got to be my analytical side, right? It's got to be that engineer side that compartmentalizes things. And but if you do it consistently, then it to me, I'm like, well, yeah, I just went to the gym. Other people are like, oh, I got to go to the gym. I got to squeeze it in. I'm like, no. This is when you go. You go from, because with COVID, my gym closes like an hour every 2 hours to clean. So I get out at 3:30, and then I can't get there till 4, which works out perfect because I leave work at 3:30. It's only about a 15-minute drive to the gym. And I get there for 4 o'clock, and I can go from 4 to 5:30 that time slot before they clean again. So I do that. And the only downfall is I can't take a shower anymore. Now I'm wasting time because I'm all good at home, take a shower, then go out to go someplace else. So
that lies the issue.
Yeah.
If you've got a strenuous workout, and then you got to go somewhere. It's not like you can go right home, take a shower, relax, do whatever you have to do. But if they go somewhere after that, you got to get a shower in somewhere.
What you should where our gym is because I'm very close to Newport, Rhode Island. So where I run from, it's about a half mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile to the beach, and then you run by the beach and you go by Cliff Walk and the mansions. It's beautiful. But in the middle,
I know exactly where you're talking about.
Okay,
I
Bellevue
know exactly.
Avenue, Salve
Yes.
Regina. Yeah.
I used to go to Rhode Island a lot with an old boyfriend.
So
I used to go there a lot. Yes, and it's gorgeous there. And
Yep.
you know what? But there too, the fact that you're running, you're thinking at the same time, you're getting those endorphins, and you're also creating in your mind. You're solving problems in your minds. If you, let's say you do, or you write about a character, you don't know how a character is going to get out of the situation. I find a lot of times when you're at a moment of just doing something like that, that it comes to you how, it just comes, it flows.
It's the blood flow, and then you get more oxygen, and then the oxygen goes to the brain. That's how we work, you know?
Yeah.
That happened one time. I'm running, and I had a problem with the story, and I was trying to figure something out, and I'm like, because my main character has the ability, they befriend a dog along the way, and the dog ends up being like, you know, his companion. And of course, you know how dogs are, and I have a dog, and he runs off, and I'm like, and I'm calling for him, and I'm like, if I could just talk to the dog. I'm like, and then I did, and now he can. But you know, it's not like the dog's going, "What are you doing that for?" He doesn't talk like that. He talks like a dog would. He would be like, "Stick, run." That, you know, he's not as intelligent.
Right. And you know what? That dog has like a vocabulary of like 60-something words, by the way. I don't know if you looked at that. They know about, they have a wide vocabulary. Well, maybe not 60. I think it might be a little bit more, but depending on the breed of the dog, they can understand more words.
Yep.
So,
and everybody, and I get this all the time. I've had more than one comment come back to me. He's like, "We love the story, but if you do anything to Lance," which is the dog's name, "we're coming after you." They love the dog.
That's how it works,
man.
Like, oh, like humans, but don't kill the animal.
You don't touch the dog.
No, that's it. I'm done. If I'm watching something and they go after the animal, I am done. I am done. You know, pure animal lover here. So I'm going to pull up your website because there are some events that you're going to be at right now during COVID. And how are you doing? We're talking about one in particular, the Rhode Island Arthur Expo that's coming up. So let me pull it up just a second. All righty, let's look at your website.
Okay.
There we go.
You all see that? Yeah.
I was like about to say, let's see. Okay.
There it is.
Yeah. There it is. So this is just some of the events that are going to be, this is your books, but let's talk about some of these events.
Yeah. So what happened in March, being in Rhode Island and you guys in New York, we know the Northeast really got closed down.
Yep.
And last year we did Boscone 57 in February. I spent Valentine's Day with my sci-fi fans, not my wife. And but it was a great time up in Boston. No, she's fine. She had the house for herself. She loved it.
Oh, that sounds like me and my husband.
But a lot of the cons that we were going to go to, we had Wizard World in Chicago. We had the Tampa Bay Comic-Con. We had 9 panels on Tampa Bay Comic-Con, 3 that we were scheduled to be at. Nikon and also Boscone. But what happened was the pandemic hit, and then we can't gather. So the good thing is, or the bad thing and the good thing, bad thing was we prepaid all these for these conventions. So all our table fees were done, and the money was gone. The good news is they allowed us to carry over those table fees to 2021. So all of our fees have been paid for. So the good news is we're going to be at these panels and at these conventions for 2021. And it includes Chicago, Tampa, Providence, Rhode Island, Salem, Mass. And we don't know about Worldcon. Worldcon's in Washington, D.C., and we have some people on the inside, so we might be able to get there as well. So all those, you'll see those on my website for, 2021. We're hoping that we can get in and everything works out. But, you don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, right now we were discussing this before. We were talking about how you're able to reach more people now during COVID than you ever would. People who can't access particular events. If it's, let's say the event is in a different, you know, in a different state, you now
Right.
can have somebody from, you know, all the way across the United States able to come and go to an event.
Right. Yeah, and that's what we have coming up. So aside from these events that were that I'm going to be at with a few of my author friends from Rhode Island, the Rhode Island Author Expo was always an in-person event. But again, that was supposed to be December 5th at the Rhodes on the Patuxent in Cranston, Rhode Island. But we can't do it. So what we decided to do was, instead of, you know, just bagging it and not do anything, said let's try something new, and let's try to make this a virtual expo. And right now we have over 50 authors that are going to have their own author coffee clutch. So it's going to be a Zoom event, so everybody can do whatever they want in their room. And then we have panels, and we have presenters, and we have headliners. So we're going to make the best of it.
Oh, wow. Well, we are definitely going to be, we're supposed to be a part of this. We're actually going to be joining you and having a panel at this event. This is the first time that we ever reached Rhode Island.
Yeah, I mean,
We've been trying.
We've been trying. Let me tell you, whenever we travel, we always have to put that into context where we're driving to. I think the furthest that we've driven to is Philly. Now we're going to be in Rhode Island. Yeah, really, exactly. Wow, I'm so excited too. Yeah. I'm excited about being a part of this event. Wow.
Yeah, we have, and some of the headliners that we have, Bill Lee, who was an ex-Red Sox pitcher back in the 70s, he came out with his memoir. It's 400 and something pages, and he's known as the Spaceman. And there's a reason for that. I can't wait to read this book. He's a little out there. And then we have Olympian Elizabeth Beisel, the Olympian swimmer. She's a Rhode Islander, and we reached out to her, and she's going to do an interview with one of our MCs, and she's going to be there that day too. And then we have John Land, another local writer, and he actually writes the Murder, She Wrote. Remember Angela Lansbury?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He's the writer. He writes those novels. So we have him, and he's great. He's been with us for a while at all our events. So we have our headliners, we have our panels and presentations, and then we have all of our local authors. So if you go on that site, riauthorexpo.com, you can register for the event beforehand, and then it's called Grenadine platform. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's actually a convention platform. And it's really, really slick, and it's really good. And this is going to be our first chance doing a virtual event as well. So hopefully it goes well, and then maybe we can do other ones, during the year.
Exactly.
We'll see how it goes.
It'll be an alternative to what you're doing already.
Yeah. And
are you trying to say, Mike, that we're going to be doing this for maybe more than a year now? The COVID thing is going to be going past.
I'm hoping my first one is WorldCon. No, is it WorldCon? Wizard World Chicago is the end of June. I'm planning on being there. So
all right.
I'm hoping by that time of the year that we can be going to the cons instead of being at home at the con.
Right. Exactly. There's something to be said that, I'm a people person, even though I'm not your typical engineer. I'm a people person. So I like to interact with everybody, and I like to be on the panels, and I like to see people. I take pictures with the ladies. I give candy to the kids. It's a lot of fun, and you can't do that from home. So
no.
Yeah, you can't. I think the majority of what we all love about cons is the interactivity between all of us, and the fact that you really feel like you're in a family setting because there are people there that are very like-minded. They love the same things. You're not you're not geeking out on your own. You're there with other people that are geeking out too. And it's just we do miss that atmosphere. It's a wonderful atmosphere, you know, so definitely want to get back to it as soon as possible, possible.
Yeah, I miss my people. I got plenty of books and people to meet. So
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
that's a cool question there. You just
Yep.
finished your series, right? You know,
Yep.
you're probably, I'm not sure, as a writer, we're always constantly thinking about the next project. It's just at the level of how much we're going to share it or not.
Yep.
Do you know where you're going after this? You know what's the next book going to be?
Are you ready for this one, Raphael? Are you ready for this one?
Happening.
Okay, let's hear this. Let's hear this.
I am writing my baseball memoir
Ooh.
as we speak. I have one more chapter to go, and it's about all of the times that we go to Arizona and we play in these tournaments. And let me tell you, if you've ever played on a sports team, you don't need to make up characters.
No.
We have so many stupid things that we did. So it's kind of a little bit a story about me when I grew up, how I got into baseball. And I have a lot of good stories there. And then joining this team, and we've been so successful. And plus, it's a little bit of the stories of the games that we played in to get us to the titles. And then all the stupid stuff that we did that was like silly and funny. It's almost like a Bull Durham kind of story. And I'm going to have that. And here's the kicker. We're the Rhode Island Brewers. So my marketing campaign is this. I'm going to finish this over the winter. And come April, May, June, whatever it is, I'm going to go on, and I'm going to bring some of the guys with me, obviously. We're going to do a books, beer, and baseball tour in all the breweries in Rhode Island. All the micro.
Listen. If you put chicken wings in there, I'm there.
I don't see how you can't.
Chicken wings. How can you not? I need your help because I'm actually trying to write a memoir of the days when I was an NFL cheerleader, and I would love to go. Yeah. And you're right. You don't have to create characters there.
No, you don't.
There are plenty.
And you'll like this one too. They were saying, "Are you going to keep the people's names?" And a buddy of mine, a friend of mine, is a lawyer, and we're at my brother's house over the 4th of July a year ago, whatever it was. And I was asking, I said, I'm writing this baseball memoir, and I said, right now I'm using the actual names of my buddies. I said, do I have to worry about that? And he goes, well, not really. I'm like, are you sure? He goes, think of it this way. He goes, when the Supreme Court said, you'll know pornography when you see it, he goes, that's what you have to worry about. If it's that bad, then you probably shouldn't write about it. I go, oh no, this is just stupid guys. Stupid guys doing silly things.
Wait a minute. Because some of the stories that I have are some juicy stories. I mean, I mean, some of the people are still living, yes. But I too was conflicted. I know I was conflicted with that because I too wanted to know if I should use the names of the individuals or should I modify the name so people could figure it out on their own. I'll
give you a little snippet. Here's one. We're on the eve of winning the national title in 2008, right? So 2 of the guys went out to Scottsdale to the nightclubs. Stupid, they drove back. They got pulled over. The guy that was driving was our crazy left fielder. And, of course, they give him the sobriety test. He fails miserably. So as he's getting the police officers putting him in the handcuffs, he goes, this isn't even the worst thing that's happened to me today. I had to face a nasty lefty, pitching, and meanwhile my catcher's in the car and he's going, no, shut up.
Oh God.
It's stuff like that. And it's, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be funny. It's not going to be, the best piece of literature you'll ever read, but it could be a fun book. And my goal is to keep it at $10, like almost like, Field of Dreams. They'll just give you $20, Ray, and they'll walk by and they'll watch the game. People just give me $10. Just give me 10. Here's a book. Give me 10.
Listen, if you can have Golick and Wingo talking about it on ESPN Live, then you got it.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I'm going to share a writer's secret here. If you have a writer friend, you are probably in one of his books or her book. I'm not going to. Writers use the people around them to create the characters that they put in their books. So if you have a writer friend, go read their book. You might find yourself in it.
If I was closer to upstairs, I'd go get the T-shirt that my aunt bought me at Christmas one year that says, "Careful, or you'll end up in my novel."
Exactly.
A lot of places. If people go, "You all right?" I go, "Yeah, careful."
My favorite shirt I saw was like, "Don't anger a writer; he'll kill you many times."
That's right.
I love it. I love it. All right, so let's put on your social media so everybody can see where we can reach out to you. So Facebook, you have the Overlord book series, Twitter at Overlords, and Instagram, Mike Squatrito. So you're on there. We are so excited to have you on here today. And yes, you and I will continue our conversation about writing a sports story. You know, and we're going to be looking out. We're going to be showing up at the Rhode Island Expo. Can you give those dates again?
It's Saturday, December 5th, and it's between 10 and 5. If you go to the riauthorexpo.com page, there's a link there to get to the Grenadine site that has all the schedules. And we're in the process now of finalizing everything. And when you guys determine when you want to go and exactly what you want to do, we'll create a Zoom link there. We'll post it, and we'll get some nice pictures of you guys, and we'll put it up there, and and then we'll have that for everything.
Here's the funny thing: for December 5th, I actually have 2 authors for that show. So
you know what? You could make a panel and have them on it during our event.
I think that's a great idea.
Everything goes. This is brand new. We're trying to make this a place where we can bring in a lot of people. We have a writer's resource area that actually has the Fictional Cafe, which is an online, internet place for writers, the What Cheer Writers Club, the Hollyhock Conference, which is in New Bedford, Mass., and I think we're going to have IPNY, Independent Publishers in New England. So they're going to have their own, all talk about their organization, because they usually would have an area where they would have tables and people would come up and talk to them. So since we can't do that, we're going to put them all in a room, a Zoom room. And then people can come in and they talk about what they do and people can ask questions. So
I hope they all get along. I
was thinking, in this corner, weighing 145 pounds.
Exactly.
A beast with the pen.
But you guys can come up with something, whatever you want. Well, within reason.
Yeah.
Hey,
and
you said whatever.
Kid friendly. It has to be
That's right. Oh, and Santa's going to be there too. He's going to pop in to panels throughout the day. So he's going to be, all of a sudden you see like a little, you know how the Zoom has it looks like the Brady Bunch. Poof, there's Santa. He could be there.
That the author on December 5th has a book with Santa in it called Christmas Farewell.
Well, if you get your link and I can get that link to Santa, he may pop in. That would be an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Is he a traditional Santa or is he like a modern day Santa? He's the traditional
No, he's
one?
Traditional, yeah.
Oh,
he's got a real beard and everything. He looks legit. So he's not an elf. He's coming down from the North Pole.
He looks real. Well, Mike, thank you so much for being with us. We're definitely going to have you back on. We definitely can't wait to hear about this, now that you finished the series, this new book that you're coming out. And we'll have probably more discussions down the road, I'm quite sure. Okay. But I'm looking forward to being on the panel at the Rhode Island Author Expo. And, I'm excited.
We can't wait to have you, and thank you for letting me on. And like I was telling Raphael, we got 300 authors in Rhode Island, so if you need some guests, I can help you out.
Yep, and that's a beautiful place. So where else would you write but in Rhode Island? Especially if you live in one of those mansions that has a widow peak. Up there.
Trying. I need to sell a few more books. So if you want to buy my books to help me get a mansion, do it.
I'm coming to visit if you have a widow's peak. I'm telling you right now.
Open invitation.
All right. Thank you, Mike. We'll see you. Have a great afternoon.
You too.
Go work out. Go work out.
I got a lot to do. See you later.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right.
That's why we enjoyed him so much the first time.
Yeah, I mean, he's totally. He's so he's got so interesting. I can't believe he does all of those things. he does so much. That's just crazy.
He's almost like an oxymoron because you have so much put together into this one guy. You know, he's a sports guy, he's a geek, he's a nerd, he's a writer. There's just so much in one person. You sit there going, what?
Yeah, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. I mean, oh my gosh. I don't know how he puts in the work on it. But see, you know what? I feel shamed because there's no reason now. There's no reason why I should not be working out as busy as I am. So now, you know, he's actually motivated me. So I'm
That's all I hear in my head is like, well, you know, if he can do it and he has less time than you.
Yeah, well, you know, when I was working in Manhattan, you know, I was working out on a regular, dancing and stuff like that. But now, right now, you know, with you being at home, working from home, it's just really kind of difficult to do. But there's just, you have all the time in the world now more, you know, because you're eliminating 2 hours of a commute going to Manhattan, 2 hours of a commute coming back. That's 4 hours of time that you could be using to work out.
Which is so funny though, because you know, I feel like one of the reasons why creative people are even more creative at the moment is because they have those bits and pieces of time they didn't have before. I find myself writing more often because I'm not doing the travel to here or the travel to there, or I'm home. Like we're doing the live show here, so that means we didn't do the 2 hours of travel to wherever con we were going to go to, and you know that takes up most of the day. By the time you get home, you're too tired to do anything. So I find now, like right before this, I was working on the new When Worlds Collide, and I was like, okay, so let me start writing this because I actually had time to do it.
Mm-hmm. So you all have some new stuff that came out, right? Let me see if I can pull it up.
We do have some stuff. Angel has apologized. Something happened. He's taking care of it. So he can't be here right now, but I'm more than happy to talk about this stuff.
So Angel actually was supposed to be with us, everybody. If you don't know who Angel is, Angel Lopez from Saint by Design, or The Art of Son of Saint. He was supposed to be with us, and we're going to highlight some of the work that he's been recently doing. And he had like a little, he had a little situation that he had to take care of. So we're going to have him back on the show per se. But we're going to just feature some of the things that we did talk about in the past real quick. And then some of the new stuff that they've come up with as far as When Worlds Collide. But just for those audience members who are just coming here for the first time, can you kind of describe to them what When Worlds Collide is, Ralph?
So yeah, I'll start off from the beginning. Angel's work, well, you know, like everybody else, we're stuck at home. We're doing this whole COVID thing, and he decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a hat. People are going to vote in the characters they want. We're going to stick the names in the hat, and then whoever pops out is going to be fighting each other. So there's a problem with this. Now you have certain verses that are going to happen that you don't have. You're like, how did this happen? So he comes to me. He goes, Ralph, you know, I'm doing this thing, and I need to figure out how the verses is happening. I need a story behind this whole thing. Can you help me out? I was like, sure. I already got an idea flowing. I got a way to put these characters together where it's plausible they're ending up together. And I created a villain that's taking care of everything and pulling these people from the different universes into this world so they can fight each other. That's where, you know, the whole concept.
So here we have, in this one right here, we have Snake Rifkin and
Nick Fury. And
right
if you
here.
look all the way in the back, you can see the cat from the movie.
Yeah, I want to see this. I don't know. Can the audience? Can you all see this? Or can I share it a little bit? Can it be a little bit closer? Let me see if I can move it up a little bit.
He's kind of small, but I don't know if you can make it bigger. Go right ahead.
Yeah, let me see if I can make it bigger. I don't know if I can make it bigger, but let's see.
I love the detail that Angel puts into the work. You know, if you're not paying attention, you'd miss that.
Yeah, the cat's back there. Yeah, that's one of the first things that I realized when I saw this painting, this picture for the first time, is the cat was in there, the alien cat, which is right here. The audience, you're seeing it. And I'm sure the audience can see that the cat, because they can pull up their screen. For us, it's kind of small on the screen, but what detail. When I saw that, I was like, oh, this is just perfection.
It's just amazing, the detail that he puts into his work. I really love Angel's art. It's just, you know, so when he asked me about this, because we had worked on a challenge a while back for the Written Writ, where I challenged him with a story, and he challenged me with because for a long time we've been joking around, because somebody had told him once that the son of a sounds like a character. So we created a story for son of a. He created the art, I created the writing, and we didn't know what each one was doing. It was a different type of challenge for me at that time because I had never done it like that. And then we put it together, and I had the story and he had the art, and it flowed very well. What you're looking at now, look at this. It's amazing. It's Ghost Rider versus the God of Destruction.
Yeah, or the God of War. Is it the God of War?
Yeah.
Yep. Wow. That's amazing. And I think we did talk about that one. I don't know who has a better chance there, but I'm kind of thinking that Ghost Rider is going to lose.
Yeah, if we go with how Kratos is played in the games, you know, he figures out a way to defeat these supernatural entities. I think this will be a really tough fight for him because it's a little different. But at the same time, I feel like it plays out in Kratos' favor.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, and this one is also one of my favorite ones. This is like, oh, this is really good.
Piper, one of my favorite.
Yes. Me too. Me too. Can I just say? I want to interject here that I have been a fan of his, even when he was playing a bad guy at the WWF when he was fighting. Nope. He was fighting. Oh gosh, what's his name? What was his name from the A-Team?
Oh, Mr. T. Oh my God,
Mr. T.
Yeah.
So I actually went with my friend Elisa Denman. She and I went to go see this fight. We actually went to go see this when he fought him. It was a big campaign. It was going all around the nation, but they actually came to the St. Louis, the Kiel Auditorium, which is no longer one of the best auditoriums in St. Louis. It no longer exists. But we saw that fight. I'm telling you, that crowd was riled up. He said whatever, but then I just became the biggest fan of his, even though he was the bad guy. I loved him. And when I saw him,
good.
Yeah, I loved him. When I saw him in the They Live, that was it. That solidified it for me.
Yeah, because it was so him, you know, in They Live, you know, I know he's playing a character, but it's just him, badass.
Yes.
You know, I don't care about anybody.
Yeah, he just is like, you know, you love the fact that he is this, like, he says what's on his mind, and he says, you know, he has this like really snippet way of saying things, but you love that about him.
Leslie, one of my favorite fights that Rowdy Piper ever did was he was gone for a little bit from wrestling, and he came back, and he's in the ring, and he's fighting this guy. I don't even remember who the guy was, and he's looking around the audience. He takes his hand, he puts it behind him, and he beats the living hell out of this guy with one hand behind his back. And I'm like, that takes some balls.
No, that guy, it takes some balls for that guy to decide to agree on that particular narrative for that fight. That's what it really was, that he decided to go ahead and do it. You know, so this is
also a showcase of how good of an athlete he was, because that's not easy. You know, even if they call it fake, but it's not easy to do that with one hand.
Oh yeah. One thing that you have to know about wrestling is that if it is an extension of disbelief, I guess. But the thing is that these guys are incredible athletes. Despite all that, they're incredible athletes. And you've got to applaud the physicality of these guys to be able to do and to pull off some of the stunts that they pull off, you know. And this is why it continues to have a huge fan base. Because just, you know, everybody knows, but we still root for the bad guy. We love the characters that they come up with. You know, and they continue to be something, you know, beyond even today. You know, definitely. It never goes out of style. So we're big wrestling fans here, by the way.
Oh, this one is amazing. It's so funny because he liked this so much that he actually made a metal version of this that he actually did an auction for on his site. It
Wow. I
was a
wonder how they
one-of-a-kind
did.
metal piece, and it was just beautiful looking, you know. And you know, he actually had the fans come in. They paid $1, and then at the end of the whole thing, he picked the name at random from a machine, and that chose who the winner was.
Oh gosh, how come I didn't know about that? I would have loved this picture.
Oh my God, it was just amazing. And if you look on his site, you'll see how beautiful the piece was. And he made one of them. And now he's asking, because you know this one looks so great, he's asking people if he does it again, will they, you know, do they want to like you know,
Purchase
bid on
it.
the pieces? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Look at the color and the detail in this. Look
Yeah,
at that.
this is such a beautiful Halloween piece. And
Yeah.
the way the metal made the whole thing shine, it looked like something you want to put up as part of your decorations for Halloween, or just an amazing piece to put up on your wall.
Yeah, I would definitely have that in my gaming room.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that would go, because that's an extraordinary piece.
That's a gaming room piece.
Yeah.
I love this piece. This is just amazing. And you know, of course, it's The Witcher versus Sabretooth. And we see that you know, The Witcher, of course, being as resourceful as he is, has cut Sabretooth's head off. That doesn't mean that he's won, but
But and you know, you and I discussed this before, because I was like, how come Wolverine didn't figure this out?
And the whole issue with Sabretooth, of course, the same problem with Wolverine. Well, Wolverine has the metal skeleton at the time, but it's that fast healing factor. And you know, I've seen Sabretooth come out from worse than this. So
wait a minute though, but can you heal from your head being severed?
It depends on the writer.
Well said. Well said. That's true.
You know, one of the most amazing Wolverine stories I ever saw was that Wolverine was destroyed, but there was one drop of blood left, and he came back from that.
Oh gosh, I don't remember that one. I gotta read that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting one. All right, so here let's go.
That's stuck in my head. I was like, wow.
Here's some of the new stuff that you all have created.
Yeah, this was actually both of them teaming up to do this piece. It was Son of Saint and Art Messer. To he did Art did the Wonder Woman, and Son of Saint did the Captain Planet.
And this is the thing
of combination.
But the audience doesn't know that usually they're together. Art Messer and Son of Saint, we usually see them together at cons. So I did do an interview with them once together. They're like so fun. I miss those guys. I really do.
We met them. So, we did the interview with them in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Philly Con. I got you that to interview. But we were talking about all kinds of other things too. Yeah, this was good. Wow.
I think we're slaughtering Atra's name, Atra Messer.
Atra Messer.
Well, it's Art, so I keep calling him Art.
Atra Messer.
There you go.
Atra Messer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, next time we're going to have him come on the show. He can correct us and tell us exactly what it is. So who do you think won this one? Yeah, he will. Who won this one?
I think when I wrote it, Wonder Woman did some stuff to beat Captain Planet, because you know, Planet is actually the 5 heroes were using the rings. I mean, the 5 kids using their rings to put them together.
Oh.
So, you know, if you can get the kids.
Yeah, that's true. If you can get the kids. But if you ain't got the kids, you ain't got no, you SOL. That's it.
I do think that Captain Planet is powerful, but I just don't feel it's up to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I don't think so either. How about this?
Aha. Oh, yeah. This is the Macho Man Randy Savage doing his thing against Pinhead.
Wow.
And you know the plan is going to bring it to this event.
Oh, my gosh. So, what do you think? Who won this match? Definitely, who won this match? I mean, Pinhead.
It's so funny because you figure Pinhead would win. But I believe when I'm writing, I believe in the whole concept of if you are a big fish, most of the times you think you are the big fish. And if something happens that is outside your scope, it throws you completely off. So when he got transported into the ring against the Madness, he didn't know what the hell was going on, and he got nailed.
Well, then let me tell you, it wouldn't be the first time that Pinhead has been defeated. He's
True.
been defeated a lot. You know, he may be everlasting per se, but he has been defeated. He has been thwarted. Yeah. So I can see Macho Man winning this match right here. Definitely, I can see that. But this is gorgeous. This is also gorgeous.
At the same time, behind the scenes, you know, the villains are doing their thing, and sometimes the fights aren't fair per se.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have favorites, and they make sure they're win.
Yeah. How about this one?
This is the brand new one released here for the first time on Apple Bites. This is the X-23 versus Negan.
Oh, get out!
This is the story I'm working on right now. I was.
Oh my goodness! I can't.
Show, but that didn't happen.
I can't wait to hear this. I can't wait to hear what comes of this story. Wow!
And it's so funny because you know, in the story we get a chance to see that what the villains are up to, because usually they just let the fights happen the way they've been pulled out of the hat. But this time around, they caused some issues and changed the lineup, sort of thing. Because Negan's supposed to fight X-23.
Wow. So should I ask who won this fight?
No.
Not yet? Okay. All right.
I try to figure out if there was any way Negan could win this, and no. X-23 is just too badass to be defeated by Negan. I think if he had some kind of superpowers, maybe.
Well, you know, he is very charming, so he could possibly win by his charm.
He could.
That is part of one of his secret weapons.
Inside. That might work. It might happen that way.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, he's a very charming. I mean, look how he survived so long in the Walking Dead world. It's because he is so extremely charming. Yeah. He's terrifying, but he's charming at the same time.
I love that actor when he was in Supernatural, playing the dad to our heroes in that show. You know, and
Jeffrey Dean
oh
Morgan.
My God, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah,
and you know, the rumor is that in Flashpoint, you know, which is the Flash movie, he's going to be playing Batman's dad, you know, who's another Batman from another universe.
Yeah, I can't wait. I remember him when he was in it's the superhero movie with all the superheroes that were
Dawn of Justice?
Oh no.
He was there because he played Batman's father in that movie, and that's how they're leading it into the other one.
The Watchmen movie.
Oh, he was great as the comedian.
Yes.
Oh my God. He embodied the comedian.
Yes. He was so good in that. You know, I mean, he was bad, but he was good.
Well, that's how the comedian is. So
yeah, he just was. He's just a good actor. He is charming. I think in real life, it's just something about his persona. So, I mean, I think it's easy for him to step into roles where he can be that charming. But I mean, that is something that you can think about when you're writing that story. It's not an impossibility because his charm, you know, has caused him to survive in the Walking Dead world for a very long time.
And you're right. And
his charm, his manipulation, and the way he's able to outthink people.
Exactly. And at the point I'm at with my story, I'm only in the middle, so it could go in that direction. Maybe you're right. Maybe there is a way for him not to win, but to use the situation to his advantage.
To his advantage, exactly. Hello.
You might have caused an issue there.
Hello.
We'll see how the story goes.
Yeah. So anyway, we are going to wrap up our show right now. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back here next Saturday at 1:00. I
can tell you next Saturday, which is the 14th, right?
Yeah.
You have your friend Kate Fox. and our friend Kate.
Katie.
And we also have Mike from Mike Burns Things, because he does art by burning the wood.
Ooh.
And I think
do you think
before?
Do you think we can we actually have him do some art for us while we're doing the interview?
We can ask him. I can ask him during the week. But this is one of the burnt pieces. It's
Wait, let me pull you up so that the audience can really see that. That is awesome.
Yeah, when I was interviewing him, I just saw this. And this is all burnt. And I think this is one of his new things that he's doing by putting color into it.
Wow.
Because, you know, as an artist, you're always growing and you're always changing your style, you know, because that's just the way it is.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. That we have to talk about that because, you know, Sean Cox is also a big Superman fan. So that's that is gorgeous. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to wrap up. But before we do, we know some things have changed in this country now. We have a new president. Our new president is President Joe Biden. After what I could consider a grueling election process.
It has been, yes.
This man won the overwhelming vote. And that's a lot to say. So all I can say from my standpoint is I am so glad to get back to normalcy, get back to my life. And in this chapter of American history. But we'd like to congratulate Mr. President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who is by our first woman of color to be in the position of a vice president. So she's a woman, that's a first. Of color, that's a first. Vice president female, that's a first.
Yeah, that's a lot of firsts.
That's a lot of firsts. That is a lot of firsts. So we'll see you back here next Saturday at 1 o'clock. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and take care.
Adios.
We're out.